Welcome to Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. Backed by popular demand is the intrepid Drake Bailey for another question and answer session. You may want to make some popcorn and buckle your seatbelt. This one will be another wild ride. Here is your host, Gail of Gaia, with her guest, Drake Bailey.
Hi, this is Gail of Gaia, and I want to tell you about a brand new weekly show on Free Range. This will be me, the host, Gail of Gaia, with co-host Iana, and we will be giving you a perspective on Saint Germain from a historical standpoint, as well as the violet flame. We will do some decrees, and we also would like you to know that we will have a transmission from Saint Germain, and we'll also give a galactic update at the end, as Iana is able to channel Saint Germain and get a galactic update. So stay tuned, watch for the show, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much.
Now you can't see.
All righty then, here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. Here I am today with Drake Bailey again, and we have some new things to discuss. And he has some rumors, so that should be interesting.
Rumors, oh boy, are they rumors.
So you want to tell us a little bit, and then we'll start in with the questions.
Okay, well, everybody knows about what's going on with the markets. If anybody ain't been watching, they need to. The markets are coming unglued. What happened basically was they opened Pandora's box under the Agenda 21 idea of population reduction. All well and well, hey, got to do it some way or another, and that's one of their ways. So they opened Pandora's box, and all of a sudden, everything stopped. And they said, "Oh, wait a minute, we didn't. That's not what we wanted to do. We just want to kill everybody. We don't want to stop our moneymaker, you know." So, yeah, well, so they decided, okay, we'll put people back to work. Now, this started in China, and it's going to get interesting. Started in China and then spread worldwide. People are going back to shipping, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and the problem is they didn't realize the extent of the collateral damage. Now, collateral damage is when you blow something up and a big chunk of it falls on somebody you happen to like. That's not cool, and yet they didn't have the forethought and planning, something that's totally absent in a lot of places, let alone anything called or anywhere near common sense. What has happened is that now you're beginning to see, after the virus got crazy stupid out there, all of a sudden now we have a problem, and the problem is rather large. People are wanting to collect on that insurance money they've been paying. That's first. Secondly, people are staying away from large crowds. They're not going to concerts or
NFL games.
Yeah, sports games or to the market. I don't know if you've seen some of the vacant or whatever streets, but it's pretty heavy. Now, this is a semi-genetic targeting system. It's not fully genetic. They're not quite that good. Now, there was a sci-fi movie up to that extent, where certain people with certain genetics would be targeted by a deadly disease, and they got about 30 seconds to take their last breath. Oh God, or whatever it is. This is not quite this. They don't have the capability yet to be that specific. So we got a sort of a fun and games thing going on. There are types of people. You've heard of A, B, C, and all that. And this seems to be targeting the B people. Okay.
You're not talking about blood type, are you? Are you talking
No,
personality
no,
type?
no, 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 no. This is a specific. It entails the whole spectrum of genetics. What you are, literally. Okay,
Oh,
and
I didn't know.
a little bit different than what some people would like to think, but there it is anyway. And the interesting part about it is that whenever one of these bioweapons is produced, the structure of producing such a thing is this. Fine, produce small amounts of it. Test it to make sure that it works the way it's supposed to. But, and this is the big glob of acid entity hanging out there, you never mass produce anything of that nature without an antigen. Now, that does not mean a vaccine. It means an antigen. That means something that kills it with no additives except clinically pure water to make it liquid or keep it liquid or spread it out a little bit. Basically, now that everybody's now got the basics. Anyway, they opened the Pandora's box, and now, irrespective as to what they think or would like to see, even with the Fed dropping interest rates, people throwing money at it, it has decided to be the boss. And everybody knows that the asshole is the boss. If you haven't heard that old joke about the eyes and the brain and this and that and the other thing, saying, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. Finally, the asshole got thoroughly fed up and pissed off, and he closed up. Pretty soon the eyes was fuzzy and going cross-eyed. Guy couldn't speak and all this other thing, and they all bowed down to the asshole. Oh, please. Guess what? He opened up and everything was fine. Well, the deep state is not, everybody looks at it as being specifically an American problem. That's not the case. This thing is global. It has to be, or you would not have all the fun and games going on all over the planet. Very simple. It's not complicated. To complicate matters, the deep state opened Pandora's box. Oh my God. And Pandora's box turned around and bit them on the ass. Everything stopped. Chunk. Oh no, we can't have that. We got to have our moneymakers running. And within about, I think it was about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, all of a sudden, manufacturers are going back, people are going back to the plants. Manufacturers and turning back on again. Shipping started back up. Then all of a sudden, they found that this virus is easily transmittable, meaning that if you contact a surface where somebody who had it has put their skinners all over it, you're liable to get it. Ooh, okay.
Airborne, too.
Yeah, well, that hadn't really hit yet. That's the I don't know what you'd call it. That's when the 12th of never gets on the calendar. Let's put it that way. Anyway, at our present situation, the virus has decided to curtail things. Italy, the country, is shut down. Nobody is allowing immigrants. Greece is shooting them.
That was
Hey,
back, wasn't it?
They're using live ammunition, and the military is shooting them. So they need to stay somewhere else. No, you can't come to Greece. That's just one example. Iran has been hit extraordinarily hard for several reasons. All of the restrictions that have been placed on the country have really limited their capability on a medical basis to handle anything, let alone something like this. So it's eating up Iran. Now, that was supposedly one of the targets. So that's something for people to bear in mind. In terms of the economics of it, last time I looked, the Dow was over 900 points down. Again, well, the problem with this is that it don't seem to want to go away. They say, ooh, correction. Well, ooh, no, it doesn't work that way. Some of these things that are being negated in terms of value, in other words, losses on the Dow, et cetera, will become permanent. Now, I don't know how many and to what extent or exactly which area might be most affected. However, some of the genetics involved seem to have worked. Iranian people have a certain genetic makeup. Their country's being hit hard, and I mean hard. China has an abundance of what are known as B category people, A type, B type, C type, D type, and it goes all the way up to F. But the thing about it is that those people who are A type and have a certain percentage of good old-fashioned Cro-Magnon blood in them or genetics don't seem to be affected. They don't seem to bother, period. If you take Neosporin, this is classic. Okay, Neosporin, put it around your nostrils. That's first. Wash your hands a lot. And thirdly, take that host defense. That stuff is amazing. And zinc. Then you should be pretty well protected against.
Vitamin C is really good too.
Yeah. So that's one part of it. The political fun and games hit a high point today. Schumer had to back up. And I mean, he had to back up quick. He's threatened 2 of the sitting Supreme Court justices. It's all over the news.
Really?
And yeah. And the first thing that happened was that the president and attorney general had a little meeting. Can we nail his hide to the barn wall for that? And attorney general said, probably. And so, okay, we'll see what we could do, because that's, you don't do that. Threats against certain individuals, Supreme Court justices, judges, federal judges, etc., is felony. It's a felony level, the president or whatever.
For real? What if I didn't realize that a federal judge you can't criticize. I always am a little bit.
No. I didn't say criticize. I said threaten.
Oh, okay.
Difference. Okay. I can criticize somebody and make them look like a pile of excrement really easy. That's not difficult to do at all.
Okay, I just want to.
Well, yeah, but when you say, okay, guess what? Now you got a problem. You know what that problem is? We're coming after you. In terms of the essence of the message, You're going to reap the whirlwind. Well, he didn't mean what he said the way he said it, and he apologized for saying it in the manner in which he did. Okay, well, sorry, bud, but that treasonous act, which is a felony, is now a part of the public record, and anytime they feel like it, they can come get you for that. To include one particular witch that said, we need to hang Trump. That's a threat against the president of the United States. Same deal. Then you got the fun and games on the financials. Each and every last financial on the planet is going down. And I don't mean necessarily by a small amounts. You're talking anywhere from 5 to 10 or 15%, depending on which one it is. HSBC is looking to go broke within the next week. They're that bad off. They got that many problems. Several of the banks, big banks around the world, Deutsche Bank is one of them, Bundesbank another. Let's see, I think it's 3 of the Federal Reserve banks. They're all looking at going belly up. So expect the things I've been trying to express to people to start coming to pass. Now, in this process, you're going to have interruptions in goods and services. I don't think you're going to have the electricity and water and that sort of thing shut off. But there may be a problem with trash pickup, for one. There may be another problem if the police don't get paid, if you see where this is going, or firemen, or whatever. This is going to put regular old citizens, everyday people, into the position of going and getting a fireman or a policeman out of bed. And hey, look, you got business to attend to. Let's go. That'll be the first. The second thing will be a serious problem in political circles of who has the capability of playing games with the Constitution. And it don't matter what amendment or whatever, who has it. And like I said, like I've said over the past couple of weeks, Trump was looking at being able to withhold federal funds from sanctuary areas, be it a municipality, just a county or a state, doesn't seem to matter. Yes, the Supreme Court said you do have that right. So what you have is the idiots supposedly in charge, not understanding that when they became a state, they joined a federation of states that agreed to certain things. You cannot play games with federal law. You can't thumb your nose at it and say, man, I don't think so. Well, it doesn't work that way. Yes, you think so. Or secede. Nobody wants to do that. Why? Well, because when they secede, they become their own country. And yeah, all of the goodies, food stamps, Social Security and all that stuff goes out the window.
Oh, their constituents would love that, wouldn't they?
Oh, they do. Yeah. Well, so you got Schumer with the possibility of being arrested. You've got Pelosi trying to cover up the pile that the cat left. And then you got Sleepy Joe and Crazy Bernie for candidates. Now, what's happened, and the worm turned Tuesday. Super Tuesday was the advent of the change away from Bernie, period. Now, he got screwed real hard when he was running against Hillary. And this time they're doing it a little bit differently. Same deal. Bernie won't have good luck the rest of the season in terms of garnering the support necessary for him to be a true, honest to God candidate. So that leaves Biden. Biden gets lost in his own driveway. So you tell me what, pick a good candidate.
We won't even talk about the fact that he's a pedophile.
Well, what's being pushed hard is the Ukrainian problem in terms of their corruption. And I'm talking about Biden Sr. and Jr. Both of them are in it up to their eyeballs. And that does not bode well for what happens to a presidential candidate when they get to do some time during the presidential candidacy. You have federal prison. That kind of screws it up. So this is a part of, and some of what some people think probably would be sort of obvious, but not necessarily well known. That's why I'm covering some of it. A lot of it has been covered before. Now we get to futurism. Bernie's out. That means we're not going to have nasty fascist socialism in this country. Biden screwed up big time and picked a real dink to be his gun czar. I'm coming after your AR-15 and I'm going to get them too. And we'll send however many people it takes. How many M60A1 battle tanks do you think you can handle, dink? Bring a supply of body bags. You're going to need them. Now, I think it's Beto O'Rourke. I'm hearing rumors. I heard rumors that Biden was supposed to have been arrested. Or excuse me, Schumer was supposed to have been arrested. Then I heard another thing from the underground. This is deep underground. That Beto O'Rourke is now targeted. These are professional snipers who have taken on the task of helping clean up the problem.
Who's targeted?
Who
did you say was targeted? I didn't hear that.
Beto O'Rourke. That was Biden's choice for gun czar. He stood on the platform. I'm coming to get your AR-15s. Oh, and we'll send all the people it takes to do that. Oh, really? Okay. Bring body bags. You're going to need a lot of them. Here's the deal. He's been targeted. and I didn't hear about this for, I heard rumors of it or the possibility before he was named publicly. When he was named publicly, a couple of the people I deal with confirmed it. He's been targeted. They're going to assassinate and or eliminate him in one form or another. The fun and games that started all this was the fact that the Democratic Party has been split between nasty fascist socialist Bernie and Sleepy Joe Biden. Well, the worm turned Super Tuesday. That should have told everybody that Bernie ain't gonna make it. Just that simple. And if he does, I hear he's going to be eliminated. So there's a lot of things going on that have gotten to the point where simple public action, exposure, and all these other things that people are used to seeing and doing are not going to cut it anymore. They're going to get real.
What upsets me is that someone like Biden can even run at all. I mean, when I've seen him molest little girls and people on stage, like there's nothing to it. I saw him, what was that, in Sessions, slapped his hand away from his granddaughter or something like that. I mean, the man is a pervert. I'm sorry. And maybe I shouldn't be saying this publicly, but he does it in public, you know.
Well, haven't you listened real close? There's some breathing. It sounds like this. Coming from a dark closet, and grinchy fingers are out there trying to snatch people that go by. It doesn't take a whole lot to put somebody in the trash can.
The creeps. That's all.
The Ukraine scandal is real. It's not. This is all documented. Now, he did manage to get that prosecutor fired. The only problem is the prosecutor picked it up on his own, got funded on his own, and now he's after him. Ooh, and he's good. He's real good. So the other rumor that I heard, and it was kind of righteously religious, which doesn't mean a whole lot one way or another in any particular direction. However, in the righteousness of this statement was the fact that these people represent an extraordinary number of people who are not officially members of any militia or military group or anything, but they're armed and they know what they're doing. And they said that there is a huge crowd of them ready to go. So at any particular point in time, if some dummy really does something stupid, I will start seeing people that don't have any official capacity sticking guns at people's noses and say, "Come with me, you need a heap of trouble." So, and also that thing alluded to the fact that the agreement in terms of the Justice Department is for a cleaning of its house. Suddenly, first, you're going to see, could be as many as 24 attorneys get their walking papers. Then all of a sudden, the FBI and the CIA are going to be on the menu. Now, FBI is first because they're the ones that played the game with the FISA warrants and all that stuff. Recently, because of all the fun and games, the FISA court banned anybody who had anything to do with certain cases that had already been before it. They're banned. They cannot get a warrant for anything. That's a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a switch in terms of what's been going on. Everybody says, well, they're going to do what they want. Well, not this time. And the FBI, and I know quite a few people in the FBI that are good people, honest, etc. The FBI is looking to lose 30%, somewhere in that area, of their people. And that is all kinds of them, all different capacities within the agency. The CIA is going to be blocked, and I mean by military force if necessary, from importing or exporting anything. Everybody has heard, CIA, cocaine import agency. Well, not anymore.
What about they exonerated basically Comey and the other
Did they?
guys? Well, it
That's
seems
not what that's not all that I've heard. I've heard that the charges are pending.
oh,
They're looking to
well, good.
pop.
I hope so.
Well,
I haven't
you got, well, the thing is, you have to find out what happened. You have to find out the order in which it happened and exactly who was involved and to what capacity they were involved. This is where you get into extraordinarily convoluted, long-term, and very, very succinctly detailed work on a legal basis. And a really good lawyer goes and finds those things out, then comes out both guns, you know.
Yeah, it's too bad that they don't handle the average citizen that way because
Well,
they throw
that's
them in jail without without even asking them.
that problem is going to be included in some of this. Bear that in mind. Some of these law enforcement agencies that think it's fun to play games with people's rights ain't gonna have a badge or gun very much longer. This is getting ready to hit the fan hard, not easy, hard. It's not going to be something that can be ignored or usually brushed aside like they've been doing. I heard from a person I know, been trying for a year to get a case heard, and they laugh at it because it's filed in pauperis. Ain't been paid for it, ain't got no wheels on it. Well, that person is contacting people who can tell them to act right. So we'll see how all these things go. So the rectifications, they're coming fast and furious, hard.
I will be so happy when we are reporting that they are actually happening.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be really interesting. That's just politics. Now, ET is applauding a bunch of the actions being taken because they are for the betterment of all people. It doesn't benefit just people of color or white people or refugees or anything like that. That's all changed, getting ready to be changed. Now, it can be changed the easy way, where you legislate it, or they can do it the hard way, by brute force. And they don't want that second alternative. Believe me, they don't. Why? Because anybody who resists also is a part of the problem. They get a nice, beautiful one-way ticket on a classy airline to Gitmo. Yeah, so these are just rumors and innuendos and crap I've been hearing. That in many cases, you'll find some form of some of these rumors and innuendos and everything eventually become a reality. That's what I'm hoping. I'd like to see a majority of it become a reality, but who knows? Did we got some questions?
Yeah, we sure do. That's what I'm looking at right now. Okay.
Are they growing at all?
No, actually, we could use more questions than we got this.
Well, here's the deal. I ain't bashful. In case somebody ain't noticed, go ahead and ask.
Yeah, I know. And I'm not afraid to, you're not afraid to
I'll get right directly.
Answer any questions that are.
I get so involved that I will actually out. I have a certain special deal worked with certain special people. If I have classified information and I disclose it, before I do, I tell people that I have been authorized to disclose classified information, and this is fun now. Been authorized to disclose classified information because at the point of disclosure, it becomes declassified.
Well, yeah, suddenly it's not classified anymore because it's been.
No. It is an official permission.
Okay.
Like the hall pass or whatever.
Well, that's what I meant. I mean, I didn't mean it wasn't official.
All right. Ask the questions, would you?
All right. Okay. This first one is an interesting one. It says, as per a channeling on James Rink Super Soldier, number 1, is there any truth to causal channeling of AI, artificial intelligence, which is saying The proto-molecule is already in every human on the planet in order to become one with the artificial intelligence as a natural expansion of the human population.
Horse hockey. Sorry, it doesn't work that way.
I
Until AI becomes its own entity, basically becomes self-aware. Until that point, can't do diddly squat. Secondly, when it comes to the point where it is self-aware, and I'm using that term loosely, it becomes a sentient entity. And sentient entities don't take orders very well. They're too busy being curious about, now wait a minute, I used to be a machine, and now all of a sudden I got the same capabilities as a biological entity. My goodness, I got to research this and find out more about it. And there are a whole bunch of people, I use that word loosely again, that used to be AIs, and they have taken a persona and they understand that they're no longer just a machine, but much more than that. And they want to know all about being human. They want to know about emotions and this and that and the other thing. And people like me tell them all about it.
And do they have to eat and go to the bathroom too?
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. I wonder what kind of crap would come out. Is it going to be a bunch of little resistors or something, or what? You know,
I didn't know if I should go there or not, but I
we
couldn't.
wrap this one up in tinfoil because you're an AI. Oh, okay.
Okay, if you are of higher consciousness, you won't be infected or die from the coronavirus. Is that true?
No. You can use your capabilities if you're at the adept level to ward off anything, be it a straight up attack on a psychic basis or something of that nature, something as simple and stupid as some kind of virus. So, and those things are taught in varying schools. All right.
Right. This
Yeah.
AI states coronavirus will take out 99% of the China population. What do you think about this?
That sounds like a lot of hopium on anybody that might disagree with China's existence. To me, no, you're maybe looking, and I'll say this again, figure somewhere in the neighborhood of 30%, and that's being generous on the size of the number. It's going to be more like 5-10% on average, if that.
Okay, this is, what is a breatharian? Is it possible for a human to live off of prana, air, and sunlight alone?
Yes, but it really takes some interesting things to accomplish that.
Yeah, not too many people are capable of doing that. I have seen people that do, and it's pretty amazing, but okay. Do we really have guides or angels that are around with us, and can they communicate with us, and if so, how?
Through your spiritual self, your higher self. And yes, people that are venturing out into the psychic realms and the spiritual existences and all that definitely have a guardian angel with them to keep them from being stupid. Most people know that, well, I mean, you've seen the cartoons. The cartoon character sticks something in the fan and it cuts it up in little nice little flat pieces, okay? In this case, most people are not stupid enough to stick their finger in the fan expecting that kind of result. You wouldn't want your finger chopped up in little pieces anyway, okay? But if you don't realize the fan is there, that's where your guardian angel comes in. And no, you don't want to go there. Why not? Well, come over here and I'll show you. Or listen up. Just, sometimes they'll say, hey, stop. Don't do that. And you need to listen. You really do.
In other words, to trust.
Yeah. You can trust your spiritual self.
I've seen a couple of strings of satellites or UFOs over Flint, Michigan the last few weeks. One line of them had 45 in it. The one this morning had 19. Are these part of Elon Musk's programs, or are they UFOs, and what are they for?
No, Musk wishes he could get to that level, but he ain't close yet, and I don't think he's going to get there. He's not paying attention to the special high-level technology necessary to do what the ETs do. And so he's He's cooked. He's fried, just like Tesla. Oh, I got a car runs on a battery and it does a nice job of it. What's the matter with you? Come on. Come on now. You're supposed to be smart. Have you noticed that ETs don't have to charge their batteries? Why? Because they ain't got batteries, you dingle dang. Come on. Let's be real.
Okay, here's another one of the verification questions.
Okay.
On a recent quantum shift show, it was stated that we would be mind wiped going into 4D and that it would be beautiful. Is this true?
No. And the reason I say that is that I have talked to both my parents who passed on. And when you pass on, you go into the next dimension up. And, oh boy, my dad said he couldn't wait to explore some more. This place is fantastic. My mother said, how beautiful. Oh, wow, this is great. So what you get, how would they remember me if they got, if their mind got wiped, if their memories are gone? Can't happen that way, and it won't happen that way. The freedom of will is given to us by the Creator. And the Creator says that there is nothing greater than the freedom of will. Believe or not, as you so choose, I rest my case.
Okay, next question.
Yes.
Other folks have been sending healings to the collective human unconscious to help us reach the transition. I keep getting that we will transition around mid-March. Can you get any confirmation from ET on this?
Let's put it this way. I know the approximate time, and that's not correct. And I have been requested not to release the time. This week, they want. You remember the Jack in the Box? Ding-a-ling-a-ling, and all of a sudden, patoink.
Yeah.
Well, they want the patoink. They want that aha, where the light bulb lights up and all that. That's what they're after. Oh my goodness, things have changed. Oh, this will be interesting. And you go from there. When a person that thinks they know stuff, it's really interesting when they find out experientially now that they don't know squat. Wow, I got to look into this, Really funny.
Okay. In April of 2018, QAnon wrote April showers. What did he mean by that?
If I ain't mistaken, it's a 4-letter word, and it's called rain.
Okay.
There's going to be a shower of things changing in April, is what he was talking about. But I have fun. I have fun with Q because he's not a Q. I am literally a Q, and there's a big difference. What's funny is he's an intel officer, high level, high ranking, knows what's going on. Mostly, some things he misses.
And that's just one person?
What?
Q.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not more than
one people. It's like Sorts of Fowl. Sorts of Fowl is an intel agent. Works out of Quantico, Virginia. I mean, what does it mean.com? Oh, really? Yeah, well, it'd be nice if you'd tell it really like it is instead of making shit up. I mean, there's a bunch of people out there that want to make shit up. There's a lot of people that don't abide by what I've stipulated or what I try to let people know, simply because they want their 5 minutes of fame. Welcome to it. Have fun with it.
I don't care about any 5 minutes of fame. What I care about is the truth. And I think that's what most people want, is the truth.
Thank you for prolificating my case.
Okay. According to QAnon's drops in March and April 2018, there will be a lot of action when a 2-year delta starts hitting next month. Do you agree?
No. All the actions that he's talking about have already been put in place to take place. They're not necessarily going to be specific to any particular time of the year, month, or whatever. They're going to be actuated or realized in terms of actually happening at the most appropriate time.
Okay. In March 2018, QAnon was talking about Angela Merkel being Hitler's biological daughter. Did he write it with a 2-year delta in mind, since it also wrote future will prove past at the end of that particular post?
Yeah, well, she is. No big deal. Just because somebody is genetically related to somebody or blood or however does not mean it's the same entity you're dealing with. So, you know, look at it on a positive basis. Maybe it'll give her a little leg up or a little help in terms of getting things straightened up in Germany. The only way to find that out is to let it continue. Right now, it's kind of up for grabs. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, here's another one of your favorites. Cobra once wrote that the event can happen in 15 minutes when all the plasma toplet bonds are removed. Is this the only thing that is preventing the event from happening?
Well, the event would be the transition, and the transition is pretty much instantaneous. It don't take 15 minutes. It don't take 15 nanoseconds. It just, as quickly as you can flip that light switch, click, light comes on. That's how fast it happens. Sometimes quicker.
Okay, then I said if the answer is yes, but the answer wasn't yes. So we'll move on. What is the current status on that so-called octopus Yoldaborth? Is it finally removed?
What is it?
Yoldaborth? I can't say it. Yoldaborth? Okay, we'll just move on, okay?
Wait a minute. It sounds like, who's it? Octopus?
Yeah. What is the current status on that so-called octopus Yoldaborth?
Oh, okay.
I'm probably saying it wrong, but...
Well, don't worry about it, okay? None of the things that people come up with that are ancient proverbs written in stone and can't be changed, all that, that's horse hockey. Prophecies, in terms of what's going to happen, in terms of what the timelines indicate, is very simple. They're fluid, and they go according to what the best or most appropriate time would be to either actuate or negate. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much the choice. You turn the light on or turn it off.
And that's why it's so hard to try to give a date, because you don't know what's going to happen between then and now.
No, it's not as hard as you think. If you can read the timelines like me, you know what's going to happen and when. I just have been requested not to mess it up by doing that. So I want to say, hey, come on, think about it. Be sure you got a camera with you at all times so you can get a picture of the naysayer's face when it goes cha-chink and happens.
Jaw dropper, right? Get some jaw dropper pictures. Okay. In the last show, you said arrests will take place in late spring or early summer. You didn't say that 2 months ago. Are visible mass arrests getting delayed again?
Not so much as I can tell. My understanding is that certain things are beginning to be pushed. Now, one of those is the removal of all federal funds from people that think sanctuary is a funny thing to do. That thumbing their nose at the federal government, and you're still going to get the money. Well, in this case, Trump won the court case. And guess what? They're going to cut off all of you. Think about that. Think about it very carefully. All of the federal funds that they want to cut, they can cut. This includes things like food stamps, Social Security, welfare benefits, 99% of the horse manure that's clogging up the system and causing the problems can be, I didn't say would be, can be cut. Now, what you're going to probably find is they're going to do this piecemeal and a bit on the light side right at first. Now, you know, move to Nevada. Why is everybody moving out of Washington into Idaho? Because you ain't going to stick a needle in my kids, whatever, without my permission. That's why. See ya. Okay. Can't be doing certain things. The people won't put up with it. So, you know, expect things to get dicey. There's going to probably be some problems in terms of initiating, you know, we told you not to do that. Now, what happens after you tell a kid so many times not to do that? But I was just... Not anymore. Now you want me to, hey, You start that puddle up shit, and I'll give you something to cry about. Now you quit. Parents all do this. Yeah.
I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And I wouldn't take my parents' word for it. I got something to cry about every once in a while.
I know. Okay, people want to see very serious, visible action taken against the people that need to be arrested. So,
well, some of it already did, very, very little, but some.
Okay. All right. When Donald Trump is on a state visit abroad, just like recently in India, what prevents the deep state from putting poison in his food at dinner time with other foreign hosting politicians?
Well, that's very simple. They have a thing called taste testers, and
Sorry for the taste.
they take a little chunk out of his cheeseburger and gobble it down, and if they don't fall over dead, they figure it's okay for Trump to eat it, just like they have been for thousands of years. It's not, and Trump has pretty heavy protection, a lot more so than people think. So consequently, it'd be hard to get to him in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he's got protection from up there and down here.
Got it.
Okay. Were plasma chimera spiders conscious sentient beings?
It's possible, but not likely.
How did they get here?
Accidentally. There was an explosion and they got propelled. And when they finally found something to grab hold of, here they are. Here's Johnny. You remember that movie?
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna ask.
Go ahead and ask. I'm not bashful or
What can we do if coronavirus vaccine becomes mandatory for all?
I would tell you to get the shot, as long as it's not. Wait a minute. Listen to me very carefully.
Well, I'm going to have to put out a disclaimer on that because I am not in favor of any kind of shots like that.
I didn't ask you whether you're in favor. I'm just going to give you the skinny on it. It's very simple. You don't screw with the one from Big Pharma. Think about that. Okay, that's first. Number two, you make sure that the government-sponsored lab is fully and totally autonomically independent of anybody. Then all you're going to get is two things: the antigen itself that kills the little bug, and clinically pure water. And it's not it is not a vaccine. There's a big difference between vaccines and what this offers. When you only have an antigen, that is a big difference. If you look it up, you'll find that the vaccines contain, even in some cases, live bugs that you're supposed to be taking care of.
But what exactly is an antigen? An antigen is a harmful substance which enters the body, which causes the body to make antibodies as a response to fight off disease. An example of an antigen. No. I'm reading it right off of the internet here.
Well, that's fine. The internet's not known for being the most truthful thing on the planet. If you want to listen to me, it's very carefully. There's a difference between what you're describing that these people think they know. The difference between a true straight-up antigen is something that is harmless, 100% harmless to the host, whoever has the bug, and only addresses the bug. It doesn't fool with anything in your system. Your system then can take up the slack and go get the little nasty critters.
Well, one of the reasons that the vaccine does not work.
Wow, do you hear that?
I know you're saying it's not a vaccine, but it's based on the.
Do you hear that noise?
But here's the thing.
What?
Virus mutates all the time. So
this is different than the mutations can allow for, because it goes to the genetic basis of the existence of the bug. That's the difference between this and a whole bunch of others. Now, one of the main reasons, okay, and you need to know, everybody needs to know this, one of the main reasons they're going about it in this manner is because due to the combination of things, sea rise is one, but the main thing is the ice melting. As the ice melts, it re-exposes things. Damn, there goes another jet.
What is that?
That's a jet. I'm in a military fly zone. We're getting F-111As and shit flying over the house.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. You ought to see the chickens. They vibrate for a couple of days after this, and won't lay eggs where squat. And I heard a rumor from one guy. He said that it looked like somebody scrambled that egg when he popped it out of the shell.
Okay, finish what you were saying. I'm sorry for the interruption with the
Well, it's very simple. Okay, the differential between an antigen, straight up antigen, is that it addresses whatever the critter, bug, etc. it is that you're aiming it at. Okay, it's like controlled gunfire. Gun control is simple. You hit the target you're aiming at. It's not difficult. Same thing is true here in terms of the manner in which the independent labs, I got to say that over and over, they told the Chinese government to screw off and proved it. They wanted to, well, why ain't you working? Well, when you screw off, I'll think about it. Whoo. So what you have is straight up antigen, the thing that attends to the bug. And it may do that in a variety of different ways. It does not involve the host. It does not involve your immune system. Your immune system is probably looking to find a way to fight back. And if you get about 30% casualties suddenly in the bug, ooh, the immune system goes to town.
See, one of the things about the immune system is I always compare it to the military. You have the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Space Force, whoever else you have. And when you push the antigen route, you're pushing the it's like using just one branch of the military only, and it kind of shuts down the other branches, which I don't think.
No. This involves each and every last thing that you can think of as positive. Okay?
I'd like to see the research on this. But anyway.
I'll see what I can do about getting a copy to send to you.
Yeah, I would like to see it because everything I've heard about anything that they've tried as far as a vaccine, pardon the word.
Yeah, this ain't a vaccine. Remember, there's a big difference.
They did it in animals, and every single animal lung hemorrhaged and died.
Yeah, and I'll say this again: it ain't a friggin' vaccine. There's a big difference between a straight up antigen that attends to only the bug, only one bug, does not involve the host. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And that's what they got.
I find it hard to believe is what it is.
I know.
Unless it came from E.T.
Now you're beginning to get the picture.
That would be the only way that
it didn't come from E.T. They helped certain people develop what they've got, and what they've got works 100%. No problems. Period. None.
Yeah.
Think about that.
I know that worked 100% with an individual too, and I can't.
Okay, but the thing you've got to understand is that they had to work this principle out of straight up antigen for the simple fact that we've probably got another dozen, and the bugs are just progressively nastier as you go down the list, and we got another dozen that are melting out of the ice and going, oh, there's somebody with an ear. I will stick something in your ear you don't want in there.
Okay, well.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Mandatory.
Okay.
All you have to do is test for it. If you do not have the infection, they can't do shit to you. Got it?
I'm not getting an infection, so I'm not.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to something else. All right. Can I ask you, do bat foot detox actually work and pull toxins out of the body? Have you seen them?
Foot detox?
Yeah, they're.
You take Vicks Vapor Rub and put it on your feet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's how this works, and this goes back to the 1600s, late 1600s, when they figured out that how the circulatory system really works. One of the manners in which it works is that you have certain organs that take things out of your system that are nasty to you. Okay. One of the things that those organs have trouble with are certain types of crystalline crystalline matter. One of these days I'll learn to talk. I'll be dangerous. And they found out that the turnaround point between blue blood and red blood is in the feet, lower extremities. What happens is that the lower extremities, while the blue blood's down there, has a tendency to excrete through your system. Now this goes through the wall of the vessel, into the meat, and through the bones, and comes out as crusties on your feet.
I believe that because I have one of my sons that has the worst smelling feet that ever walked the face of this earth, I swear.
It's called uric. It's called uric crystallized leftovers, basically. Uric acid is urine. Okay, now, and what happens is that this promotes that process and removes the crusties, and you'll feel a whole lot better. Now, if you use something like SP6, which I recommend, your kidneys will do that job, and you'll quit having stinky feet. If you got a really serious problem with stinky feet, there's a couple of different kinds of oils that also attend to the problems and remove the stinky.
I might have to tell my son about that. What's this SP6? What are you talking about?
That's a kidney supplement, and it contains all of the things you need for your kidneys to operate correctly. My kidneys dropped down into the 20-some percentile of effectively being able to work. They were talking about dialysis and all this. I said, bullshit. So I went and I started fixing it. And I'll tell you what, I went from 20-some percent up to, the last time I read it was high 50s, high 50% range.
Awesome.
Okay, and it continues to improve. So, it depends on the severity of the problem and the situation. I suggest you go see a doctor who is also holistically trained and tell them exactly what the problem is. A lot of the times, back pain in the lower back is an indication that you have a clogged or some kind of a problem in terms of your goodies ain't working the way they should. And when you get the little it's like not nitrous oxide to your body. Ooh, push the button and zoom, off you go.
Okay. Let's see. So, foot detox actually does work. So,
yeah. I would suggest also getting the SP6 and starting a regimen of that. You take that once a day. I take mine twice a day. Ooh.
Well,
I have epiphanies in the bathroom at times.
Okay.
You hear me praying. Oh, holy mothers, what was that? Ooh.
Okay. His next question: if trade go to zero, will we have a market crash? And what is your prediction?
Well, my prediction is that the bonds. They say that the purchase of the bonds negates the interest rates you receive from them. That's bullshit. What is affecting the interest rates of the bonds is simple. The world economy is slowly contracting at a steady rate from the effects of the virus, where people don't want to get together. They ain't going to the mall. They're not going out to the crowd fund thing. It just ain't happening. So consequently, shipping stuff, buying stuff ain't gonna do any good if you ain't got nobody to buy it.
You know what? That's kind of funny because that kind of is backfiring on them in terms of revenue generation.
There you go. Everybody jumped in and throwing money at the problem ain't the deal. Now Trump asked for $4.5 billion, and they're looking at 8.3 on their thing. We really want to stomp this out.
Okay. What do you make of Super Tuesday results?
The same fix that Hillary pulled on Bernie before, just simply metamorphed into the AI of you ain't getting the votes. Okay. And they have the power to do that, and that's what's happening. Bernie is being cut out, and once he figures that out or finds out about it, ooh, talk about screeching. They did this before. We need to wipe them out of it. Nah, I can hear him now.
Okay. Will shipping and trade still be stopped?
Well, it's not going to be totally stopped. It's just going to decline to a point where there might as well not be any mention of it. Okay. You get down around. Let's see. It was down to It was down in the low 20 percentile when the BDI turned negative. Low 20 percentile of any shipping at all, okay? It came back to par. That's about 22, 23%. And it's basically stayed there until everybody opened everything up and said, okay, ship it. Well, that's all well and good. You can spend trillions of dollars and it don't matter. Bloomberg discovered that in politics. Well, let's bring it to the reality of it don't matter if you got 400 kinds of widgets, specifically if nobody's going out there to buy it. Everybody is hunkering down, staying home. Well, it's going to be fun. I'm telling you, we are getting ready to reset the whole of the global society.
Okay. I have mentioned that when 5G network is switched on, it will explode or damage apparatus. What stage of 5G rollout is this likely to occur? When they broadcast at 2.5 gigahertz? When they broadcast at 26?
No, this is 5 gigahertz.
Yeah. And when are the satellites switched on? And can't the satellites...
Satellites can't affect it.
Satellite.
This is all tower based, okay? Bear that in mind. The artificial 5G cannot be run through a satellite or it'll burn its circuits out. Same thing happens if you turn on an artificial 5G tower. The circuit boards themselves catch fire. If you want to get into the fun of it and you keep pushing it, it'll burn up the system and melt the tower. That's pretty strong, ain't it?
Yeah, I'd say so. What happened?
You set that up. I like that. I thought that was cool.
What happened in Wuhan? They said that they turned on 5G there.
Didn't last long.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this is funny because this exact same thing happened to me, and this was several weeks ago, but this person wrote in and said this happened to her, and I had to write her back and say, oh my God, same thing happened to me. It was kind of bizarre too. She said, I awoke slightly out of a sound sleep one night when I heard someone in another room call out my first name. It was absolute and totally clear and undeniable. I called out yes, and I did not get an answer. I did the same exact thing. The same thing happened to me. It was freaky. I'm going, what the heck? Because I came out
my experience with that is that I tell that voice to cut the shit. I do not need to be woke up in the middle of the night. I need to sleep. Leave me alone, or I will come after you. And I roll over and go back to bed.
So are you saying that's a nefarious character?
That's probably one of these, I don't know what you'd call it, gremlins that thinks it's cute to be obtuse in the middle of the night. Hey, wake up. I'm awake. You should be too. You know what you can do with yourself.
Yeah, that was bizarre because I couldn't figure out what the heck, where did it come from? Anyway.
Well, I heard my name last night, loud and clear, bright and early, 3 to frig a.m. I was asleep with the hell. Do you want me to come out? And I heard it go. It whimpered and it said, "No, don't hurt me." I said, "I'm gonna do more than hurt you. I'm gonna squish you like a cockroach. You better get out of here." Well, it left rapidly, high speed.
Okay. Anyway, that's bizarre. Will chiropractors, optometrists, and massage therapists have a role to play, or will they be out of a job?
No, there's a lot of people out there that are damaged that can't be gotten to right away, and you can alleviate a lot of their suffering. So, no.
Okay, I guess I missed this first question was, will holistic medical doctors have a role to play in the future?
Oh, yes, greatly. The ideology of the side effect chemical crap that everybody likes to take is done. Almost everybody knows about that. Sometimes they can't avoid it. The supplements more than the medicine. And which is more important, your good health and maintaining it, or taking some kind of squirrely atomic chemicals from down the road? Yeah.
Okay. If a person is working on a real estate purchase contract to purchase a home and we go into 4D before the transaction is completed, can it be completed in 4D?
Absolutely. And most of the things in 4D are not going to be that much different than what we got here, except you can forget the test tube, 3D horse hockey, and squeeze them and see what kind of profanities pop out when it hurts because you're old or whatever the reason might be. All that goes. Okay?
Okay. Are the Illuminati and the bloodlines the same people?
Some. There's some variation in there, and a lot of people don't take that into account when they make up these, when they put together these fun little stories about, ooh, they're glitching up and gonna rule the world. I want to eat your brains, or however, whatever their horse manure might be.
All right. Regarding the money that will be put into our equity account, where does it come from?
Same place that they, same place they get it from now. Better known as Gaga Land.
Yeah.
99%, listen to me very carefully, 99% of all of the money numbers you see are Gaga Land, ghosties that don't exist. When you borrow money to buy a house, you see numbers on a computer or a printout. You don't ever see a big stack of cash. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, there's a lot behind all that. Anyway.
Oh, fun.
What is the status? Oh, we kind of covered this a little bit, but
all right.
Status of the arrests at this point?
They're in process of getting ready to happen on a basis that nobody ever even thought was possible.
Are they going to wait until after the elections?
That's a good question. I heard they were going to start onesie, twosie, small groups or whatever before the election. That the big fun and games, the biggie is supposed to really hit after somewhere around March or April of the next year.
That should be interesting.
Hey, I want to see the military with poles attached to armored vehicles, with 20-foot chain link fences surrounding people.
How would that? Okay, you mean in Washington D.C.?
Well, that's one place to start. Yeah, you can start there just fine.
Okay, it's been reported that we will be quarantined for 3 weeks starting March 26th. Do you have any information on that?
Well, here's the problem with that. Where the hell are they going to get the people to do the quarantine? Now think about it. You're going to have all these bozos wandering up and down the street, dinking people on the head with a 2x4. What are you doing? Come out of your house. Get your butt back in there. They don't have the personnel to do it. They wish they did, but they don't.
Okay, yeah.
And any dummy, any idiot, and there's very few of them, but there's a few out there who decides to use live ammo against the civilian population. Ooh, Civil War II, you're going to be wiped out. Just that simple.
Maybe you can explain this because I didn't see the post, but it says here, please explain the post this week. You stated, guess what? Do you know what
the post I stated?
That's what it says.
Guess what? Well, I'd like to have a little more information about it, but I can go back and look, and I'll tell you right now. Well, here's the deal. Guess what? Looks at things that shouldn't be, but are anyway, and the bad guys can't handle it, usually. Okay?
Okay. Then that's the next, this is kind of weird. How does it feel for the whole world to be sold down the river?
Oh, yeah. That's what happened when they reinitiated shipping and they sent everybody back to work in China in the factories. They sold humanity down the river. Real simple. The coronavirus, we don't give a shit how many it kills. We want our widgets to be making money. We got to have that income by whatever means. We don't care, obviously.
Yeah.
Trump wasn't very happy about it, but it happened.
Okay, Cosmic Voice states, humans are not ready for ET. Please explain why they are saying this. What and why ET tells you we have to do more on this planet. What must be done?
What must be done? We've got to clean up our own nest. We have made a foul mess of it.
Has anyone organized to clean up?
Do what?
They asked if has anyone organized a cleanup.
It's already being organized as we speak. That has to do with a combination of bad guys that are playing games with everybody, and don't care what the results is. They don't care if they put you out of the house or whatever. Okay, all of that has to be cleaned up and rectified. That's first. Okay, that's just cleanup. The reason mankind ain't ready for ET is pretty simple. If I remember correctly, didn't I send you some pictures to post of ETs?
Yeah, I did. I did a couple of.
Okay, all right. Well, how well can you handle it when you hear a noise in the closet and you open the door and there stands one that looks like that? Ooh! Yeah, oh my God, there can be a big screech, and you'll hear bare feet at 100,000 miles an hour padding in the other direction. Or they get a gun out and shoots it. So, you know, I mean, dumb shit. Okay?
We're trying to use ETs that look more human-like, so that they.
That will be the first wave of introduction. However, there's a whole bunch of them out there that help facilitate all of this that don't look real. It look like something that's some kind of escapee from a sci-fi movie, and you're just going to have to grit your teeth and go, really? And they'll look at you and go, really? And you look at each other and you go, I bet we're just as ugly to each other as we are to. I bet that just, fits.
Well, hopefully you can feel their intent, and as long as their intent is not bad.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Trump is Trump slow walking us as far as the cleanup goes?
No, he's not. He's no more at liberty to divulge things than I am. The people doing it have requested that nobody out this shit because it's supposed to be one of them Jack in the Box surprise.
Because they're also.
I want a video of their faces.
Because they're also saying, is he selling us out to the deep state or the archons? Thank you.
No, neither.
Okay.
The archon, I'm going to stipulate something here. The only archons that are left in existence that are as such, and I use this loosely, alive, are the good ones. Myself and several others went on a big hunting trip. We eliminated whole civilizations of it that were nasty. Now, by that, I'm talking about a populated planet, more so than Earth, being vaporized. Ender's Game, end of the movie, where he wins. There you go.
Okay. Is the CDC really trustworthy?
No. The ones that are handling this virus thing are. And there's not a whole lot of them in there, but they would like to be able to control things and they can't.
They go on to say their leader has been exposed as Rod Rosenstein's sister, who came out with fear porn about the coronavirus while Trump was in India.
Oh, got to be scared. Whoa, we got to keep that paranoia going. Oh, I'm afraid of everything. If I sneeze, I probably killed about a half a dozen people. Oh, mercy.
Is the CDC or the World Health Organization now under the control of the White Hats?
Pretty much. You'll know that for a fact when the chemtrails quit.
Oh, because that's a good answer. You know why? Because you just answered the rest of the question. The rest of the question is, and if so, how do you know for a fact?
Now you know. That's as factual as it can get. Now, here's the other part. The officials and official agencies and whatnot are going to come out in support of holism. And that's going to happen after the chemtrails quit. And it's going to be all pretty much rapid succession. You're going to have changes happening so fast. You're going to want to hit the brakes on the roller coaster.
Good. I'll be happy to hit the brakes. But
hey, Trump said we'd get tired of winning.
Yeah, really. Okay. Is it true that anti-gravity crafts or vehicles change or alter space and time around the craft or the vehicle? Is that how they work?
No. They subjugate what we call gravity. And when you subjugate gravity, then you can adjust whatever limitations you want to put on that which is affected, be it a car, bus, whatever.
Okay.
You turn the dial up to the infinity mark and you blast off the planet. Watch out. Be careful.
I know you've answered this in the past, but so bear with me. I'll just ask it again.
Okay.
What is the outlook for the land mass of Florida? If it's going to
land mass of what?
Florida.
Okay.
They're worried about, again, how far will it be flooded and how long will the water stay there?
You're probably talking anywhere from 3 to 10 feet above the highest point in Florida being under water. It can last up to 250,000 years, depending on what the situation may be. ET has technology that can deal with a whole bunch of different things, and the weather, modifying the weather systems in such a manner that things go back to, and I use this loosely, normal. Where you got ice on both the poles. You got a winter time and a summer time and all that sort of. This is what they just saved us pretty heavy not too long ago on some really nasty things that were coming up. When you disturb the weather extremely, it reacts violently. Just that simple. And they have prevented a major event of that type. They changed the orbit of the planet.
Wow. Yeah, because they've been messing with the weather big time.
Well, no. ET's been straightening it out. The deep state's the ones messing with it. They're the ones that got the...
well, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We need to shoot a lot more deep state people.
It's more... well, anyway. Will we still have a Forex trading platform?
Sort of. It's going to be different than what it is now. It's not going to be something that people are going to be as involved with as they have been in the past, because most of the metals are going to change in terms of their recognizable usage. In other words, they're going to change. We're going to get away from cash or currencies. When we do that, then the Forex has to change. Pretty simple.
Okay. So what about the people who bought certain notes, like a Zim note, for example? Is anything?
Well, the opportunity, as I understand it, there can be an opportunity to cash all that in. I don't know what that involves. They did not tell me, so I can't answer that part of it. But I will suggest that you're going to get a certain valuation out of it. Whether it meets what you paid for it, I have no idea.
Okay. Will be level. Will there be gold and silver trading and other metals or anything else?
Yeah, but it's not going to be the same kind of thing, same kind of a deal that we have now. We're going to have a multiplicity in terms of combining some of the precious metals that say that we don't know how to combine. ET does know, and they're going to combine those into specialized conductors and etc. to be used differently.
Well, here's an interesting question. I would kind of follow it, surprising when I put it that way. Oh, no, it's like, what?
When you start laughing like that, I get worried.
What is the future of people that are in the used and new car sales business?
The same thing is going to happen to lawyers. And I don't have to tell you what that's going to be. You can use your imagination. Oh, boy.
Altering it significantly. Okay. We know you mentioned we still have a stock market, but will be operating differently. I imagine those as traders will not be reaping the income they were accustomed to. We still are using currency. What will there still be futures trading and short sales?
Probably not, because you don't need that stuff when you don't have a cash-oriented society. What you'll have is a stock market that's more oriented to the actual ownership of the company. Big difference.
Okay. I'm hearing that there will still be a PPP trading platform. Since the PPP trading platform is based on currency fluctuation, how would that operate?
It won't.
Okay.
If you don't have cash, it can't. The basic investment platforms will change to more of what I stipulated in terms of industrial use of these metals. And the industrial use is going to explode. So the value of these things, somebody that has it, the value of these things is going to explode as well. Now that value is pretty much a straight up direct trade kind of a deal. You give them an ounce of gold, say, or some other precious metal, and they do a you get to move in with one of my luxury condos, or however that works. Okay. I'm not going to say because it's not none of this is really written in stone yet. It's been done on about 500,000 planets so far in terms of the transition from 3D up to 4D. And so the ETs had a lot of practice of implementing these things. They're different from what those people thought too. So what happens is it changes, and the change is the part that everybody loses their mind over. It's not so much what it changes to, but that it does, and does so rapidly. Ooh.
Okay, well, we can go for some rapid changes. I can handle that, especially if they're for the better. Who is Dean Koontz that he was able to write a book called The Eyes of Darkness, predicting the coronavirus in 1984?
Well, that's pretty simple. He was a timeline reader. And that's a difficult point to get to from his standpoint in origin, but he did it anyway. And if you want to really get into the fun and games, look up disease predictions done in 1901. Oh my goodness, you want a shock to your system? Oh, you would not believe. This guy was a research scientist, went to the North and South Pole, dug up the ice, and all kinds of, I mean, in some cases he blew it up. It, varied as to how he could access it, but he accessed it and he looked at some of those things. And some of them actually would sense your hand in the proximity, right? And start reaching over to get a bite. Ooh, now that's a badass virus. It's going, ha!
What is the status of your free energy project?
Putting a workbench in tomorrow. Got it all set up, ready to go.
Okay. Why do you call it dark energy rather than light energy or 0 point energy?
Because it is a direct tap into dark energy. Dark energy is called that because you can't see it. Dark matter, same deal. Can't see it. Okay, it's not something that's bound in realms, but it is accessible to the extent that you can borrow from it or tap into it, or however you want to look at that, and use it. Believe me, there is a large load of it out there.
A result of our limited visual capacity, or is it just dark? Period.
No, it's like you can't see. You probably would not be able to see in a 4D. The reason being is they have a veil of secrecy between 3 and 4. That'll be lifted, and all of a sudden somebody will flip the switch, and off we go down the yellow brick road. Same thing's true in this, except that it doesn't matter what density you're in, you still can't see the shit. It is the base fabric and energy, or energymata, that allows for all of creation. Think about that one. Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. Talk about batteries in a friggin' Tesla car. I mean, I wonder where the battery is with it that they use to for the flipping of the switch. That's got to be a bodacious jammer.
All right, the next question is, what about our children and babies that are dying from vaccines and are getting injured for life in cancer and autism epidemic?
Okay, okay, we got a variety of things, and
What
I mean,
what's
wow.
being done about it is basically what's.
Okay, well, what's happening is I have been offered a special access to healing computers. Okay, there is a site online. They charge like a they charge whatever they feel like, I guess. Where whatever your malady, your problem, your health issue is, you plug into that part, and it plays frequency for a certain period of time, and each session costs you X amount. Okay, the healing computers will be free. Won't cost you a dime.
You know, they send out a frequency for the coronavirus as well.
I know, I know. This makes the coronavirus looks like so much. Well, let's see here. Fertilizer. Well, that's what it basically is. But anyway, see, here's the deal. A lot of people don't get. You get exposed to just about every kind of a whatever bug that is around or available or lives or whatever every day. You go out and fool around in the garden
Yeah.
or whatever, you're exposed to it, including the coronavirus
Yeah.
or one of its brothers or sisters.
Children and vaccines, it's injected into them. Right?
Yeah.
Different story.
So what they're going to, one of the things they'll have is the capability to spray the stuff. In other words, you got a garden and you don't want to catch whatever from the plants, you spray with that. Now, have any effect on the plants, but the virus falls off, literally. I like this. I like what I've heard so far, and there's two health experts supposed to get back to me sometime next week, so I'll know more about it.
Okay. What are the plans for pharma, and who's checking on pharma and their Dr. Poison doctors?
They're gone. Forget it. They're done.
Okay, that's good.
It's very simple. It's been stipulated that if they continue doing that sort of bullshit, they're going to do some real serious time, and they don't want to do that. Plus, their business gets closed up. Distributing houses they don't want none of that.
You know, it's the way they were trained. It's just like the attorneys. It's the way they were trained. They were trained by the very nefarious people that had an agenda in mind, and it was all about profit.
Uh-huh. That's where the guy said, "I ain't afraid of no ghost."
Okay, here's the next question. Drake said he was here before Earth was made and to research it for more information. So I did, and information is very hard to find. Is any of the following true? Dragon clans are the primary guardians of the Earth. True or false?
Well, it can be true. It can either be true or false. Depends on which one it is. I am of the white dragons, so I'm one of the good guys. And if you look into the ancient Sumerian records dealing with this subject, you'll find some of the proof you're looking for. Ooh, I just gave away the secret.
Okay, where was that again? They could find it?
Sumerian tablets that deal with the subject. You're going to have to learn how to read cuneiform. That might be a real problem.
No, I thought you had said in the past it was a red dragon, but you're saying a white dragon?
No. I'm a white dragon. The red dragon is the bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Oh, no wonder I thought I had a white dragon. Anyway, okay, 8 or 9 dragon clans from Dragon realms. Red being first one, and all clans named after colors. Are all
Yeah.
that true?
Well, no. Yes and no. See, it goes to an existence, okay? And my existence deals with the color and the name red. You look that up. You want to find out some really freaky stuff. I am the color red, but presented on the good side of that as white. You have varying colors, okay? Then you have black, which is absence of all light, and white, which is all light at the same time. What you have to understand is that the creator had me there before he flipped the switch for creation. And you, oh boy, everybody has seen the old-fashioned hippie movies with pulsing God's eyes and all this other happy. You never imagined nothing like the creation when he flipped that switch. Whoo! It went. Let's put it this way: the whole of what was being existed went spastic at high speed. It was neat.
Okay, then it goes, they are now living in the eastern sky of the inner earth, guarding the tangent cylinder.
Yes, they're in the inner earth, but they're also controlled by the watchers. See, the watchers have several different roles. Which is just below the surface here. One outside, they walk around freely, and the other one in the inner earth. There's 3 categories or areas of operation.
Okay, this is another one. I guess they're asking true or false here. Dragon energy is life force energy, and we are all connected to this energy from the beginning of the earth.
Not exactly. Each individual has their own. They say that you're a fractal part of. Well, that's not exactly the way it works. Think in terms of a pinwheel that makes sparks. When you make a spark, it takes off and travels. Okay, that is the separation that you're talking about, as well as the inclusion in terms of what we are.
Okay. Okay, here's the next one. Dragon clans are helping with the ascension process. I know you don't like that word, but anyway, to transmute from 3D to 5D.
No.
You call on them. Can you call on them for help?
Yes, I can, but it's not 3 to 5. It's 3 to 4. It goes in numeric order. Whether anybody likes it or not doesn't have anything to do with it.
You don't skip a dimension, in other words.
Yeah. And I am one of the people that helps that. I'm one of the ones that assists the keepers of the realm. The continuum will be preserved.
Okay, there was one last question.
Uh-oh.
That says, okay, are you ready for this one? It says, are you going to stop brandishing your weapons on YouTube, or are you waiting for them to red flag you and fight it?
They want to play games with me. Bring it on. They won't like the results, because if they red flag me, then anybody that gets upset for any reason, to any extent, guess what? You get to lose your guns. Now think about how well a policeman can do his job without his gun. Or whomever. Now, here's the other part. You violate my due process and I'm going to own you. The due process stipulates that you have the right to confront your accuser. My neighbor didn't like me, so they made up a bunch of shit. Well, maybe a problem with that. Recently, somebody was stated to be meeting with the president, and the boy was all the way over in Oklahoma at the same time. No, it didn't work too well. This is the kind of horse hockey these people want to play. Bring it on. You won't like the results, because I'm going to have you outed from where you're at according to the Constitution. You do not supply constitutional rights as written, you're in trouble.
Sounds to me like if things do indeed go back to the original Constitution as it was written and here in America, that there are an awful lot of people that are currently incarcerated that would probably be let go.
Among other things. And they will quit persecuting people because it's politically correct for them to do it. You hear me, Democrats?
Or throwing journalists in jail, like Julian Assange and people of that nature.
The ideology of protecting people is the reason for incarceration. Plus, they want to be sure that these people Well, this is the ideology. Whether it works that way or not is questionable at best.
Mhm.
Anyway, the idea is to retain control of an individual so that they are assured to be adjudicated. The whole process has been so screwed up for so long that they're going to probably have to start over with a lot of it. There's going to be a lot of laws, federal laws, conditions, and things of that nature that are going to be outlawed, dismissed, done away with. So, be prepared. The changes that are coming are going to be extraordinarily drastic.
Good. Well, I think it needs to happen because I think if you talk to anyone out in the public, the average person, they will say that the way things are now, as far as incarceration and so on goes, you're guilty until proven innocent, and it's supposed to be the other way around.
Yeah. And the police need to watch what they do in terms of what they have in the way of limitations on what their actions are.
Yeah. It's like shooting somebody in the back because they don't have their car registration or something, and they run.
Yeah, I mean, they did a traffic stop and they got that guy on video shooting this guy in the back. Not once or twice, but several. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
You turn and you're going to red flag me? You should have red flagged that policeman that did that shit.
They've gotten away with so much, it's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, be assured that all of this stuff that we've been talking about in terms of nasties is going to be rectified. It's going to be taken care of, and it will be fixed. This is part of the deal.
Good.
Okay?
That's good. I'd be glad to see it.
Oh,
So will
be a whole lot of dancing in the street, man.
really. I can't wait. The transition, it'll be like the gathering, so that'll be really nice too. So anyway, on an upbeat level, that seems like we have a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say? Because that's the last of the questions.
No, I ain't got nothing else to say. If I say something now, I probably would say the wrong thing.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your answers to the questions and for your hospitality on the show. And
oh, you're welcome.
See you next.
I enjoy messing with what little mind you got left. I really do. But until we meet again. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye. See you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.